Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Tumbler tutorial. In this video, we are going to make a peekaboo glitter tumbler using the glitters from my Peachy palette. I really hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you do, make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. And let me know what you think of this design down below in the comments. I'll have everything I'm using in the video tagged down below in the description box as always. I'll also have some discount codes down there for you, as well as links to all of my social media pages and my Facebook group and my exclusive mentorship group. So be sure to check out the description box if you want any of that info. Okay, I think that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's go. So for this design, we are going to actually use a 30-ounce skinny handled mug. So we're going to incorporate the mug in our design. And we're going to use 3 of the glitters from the palette. So we're going to start by sectioning off our cup. And we're going to use the handle kind of as a guide for like where to place our tape and masking and stuff. So our peekaboo section is going to be down at the bottom of the tumbler. And I want the middle section to kind of be like where the bottom of this handle is. So I've got this skinny tape as well as my 1-inch tape, and I think that if we put those together, it's not going to be quite as large as the 2-inch tape. It's going to be maybe about 1.5 inches-ish. So I'm going to use both of these kind of neck and neck or like butted up against each other so we can have a little bit bigger of a middle section. This maybe we'll put down here, kind of up against the handle. So I just laid my tape down, you can see, straight up against that handle, using that as my guide to like make everything straight. So we've got our first little section mapped out. This is going to be the bottom peekaboo section. And then I'm going to take my painter's tape and I'm gonna lay this 1-inch tape right up against the edge of the green tape so that we butt it up right next to each other. And then when we get to the handle, I'll just take a little bit of excess. And I'm just gonna kind of wrap it around the handle because we're not really concerned with the handle at this point. So I just kind of finagled it around there. All I really care about is this line being even and this line being even. We're not going to worry about the handle yet because it's going to match this middle section. So this whole middle section and the handle will be the same glitter color. Now I'm going to tape off the handle so we don't get any spray paint or anything that we don't want on there. I'm just making sure when I wrap this that I wrap this part really clean. I don't want any like pieces of tape laying on the cup that are, that are going to interfere with our glittering and stuff. So we are going to paint the bottom portion of our tumbler with a like teal-y turquoise spray paint, and then we're going to use a light pink spray paint up here. So we've got a very thin coat of epoxy on both the top and the bottom of our cup. And on the bottom here, we're going to use Trendsetter. And then on the top, we're going to use Love You Bye. So I'm going to start with Trendsetter because it's the darkest of the 2 colors. And I don't want to get any of Trendsetter into Love You Bye as I glitter. So I'm going to lay this down first and cover the entire bottom of our cup. Making sure that we've got all of the space filled. So pretty. And then same thing on the top of the cup. I don't really want to get any Love You Bye into this Trendsetter section. So as I glitter, I'm going to try to focus my glittering down this way. There we go. So I'm going to let this sit and dry for about 2 hours, and then we will work on the middle section. In about maybe 15 minutes, I'm going to remove all of this tape so that the glitter and epoxy don't cure or dry too fast on that tape and make it harder to pull up. So after that glitter and epoxy layer is all dry, I'm going to prep to glitter the middle section. So I'm going to wrap this bottom part of my cup in my scrapbook paper just to flatten the glitter out a little bit. I don't want that chunky glitter to give me issues later. That's going to be where the peekaboo section is as well. So I want that to be as flat and as smooth as possible. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to seal each of my glitters. I'm going to start with Trendsetter at the bottom, and I'm using a 50-50 mix of the Crystalac glitter glue and water. It's my favorite thing to seal my glitters. I feel like it works the best, but you can use whatever sealer you prefer. I'm going to let that dry for 2 hours, and then I'm going to take some electrical tape and I'm going to tape off the top portion of my tumbler, and I'm going to tape off basically everything except for the exposed stainless steel sections. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we are going to glitter the middle section and the handle with the same color. We're going to use Hello Friend. So I'm going to mask off everything that is already glittered so we don't get any paint or glitter anywhere that it's not supposed to be. I'm going to base paint both of these sections with some black acrylic paint. As always, I'm using the Delta Creative Ceramcoat brand of acrylic paint. It's my favorite. I feel like it has the best coverage and it's really affordable, but you can use whatever paint you like using the best. So I'm going to do 1 coat of the paint. I'm going to let that sit and dry for about an hour, and then I'm going to go in with the epoxy method to apply my glitter. You don't have to use epoxy method. You can use Mod Podge, the glitter glue, whatever you prefer. But I've been using the epoxy method this whole time, so that's what I'm going to keep using. So I'm going to do a very, very thin layer of epoxy here. You want to use less than 1 milliliter of epoxy to coat your middle section and your handle. And once you've got that epoxy on, you can take your glitter. Like I said, I'm using Hello Friend from the palette, and I'm just going to cover the handle and the middle section with the glitter. After applying my glitter, I immediately removed all of that tape, let the epoxy sit and dry for about 3 to 4 hours, and then I sealed the middle section of the glitter the same way. And then I added 2 coats of epoxy to my tumbler after that sealer was dry. Then I did a full round of sanding on my cup. So here my cup has been fully sanded and washed with dish soap and water. And now I'm taking some more blue painter's tape and I'm masking off this bottom section because, like I said, that's where our peekaboo is going to be. So I'm just taping off the top portion of our tumbler so we don't get any spray paint or anything in the sections where we don't want it to be. Now for the bottom peekaboo section, I thought it would be fun to do some little stars and like sparkles. You can do any type of peekaboo you want, of course, but I thought it would be kind of cute to just do a whole bunch of little sparkly stars in this section. So I cut out a bunch in different sizes out of my stencil vinyl, and I'm just going to place them individually, filling up as much of this space as I can. I want a lot of the Trendsetter glitter to show through the peekaboo, so I'm going to really just place as many of these stars and sparkles down as possible. Once my stencils were applied, I went in and spray painted it with some pink. I used Love Pink from Montana Colors, and once that was dry, I went through with a Sharpie and I just marked off each of my little stencil pieces so that it's easier to see underneath the glitter. All right, for the glitter on this side, we're going to use Barbie. So we're using all 4 glitters from the palette on 1 cup. So I'm going to cover this entire bottom of the cup with Barbie, and then we're going to peel the decals up right away. To peel my decals, I'm going to use both my pin pen and my tweezers, and I always put a glove on when I peel my decals up just because I sometimes have to go in there with my hand and I don't want to touch epoxy, so I always wear a glove. Now, luckily these decals are pretty simple in like shape, so they should be pretty easy to peel up and we shouldn't have too much of a hard time getting them peeled up. All right, so there's that. Now I'm gonna remove this tape and we're gonna let this sit and dry overnight. You don't have to wait that long, but it's time for me to go to bed. So I'm gonna let it wait overnight. I spray sealed my peekaboo glitter with some clear spray from Rust-Oleum, and then I added another 2 coats of epoxy on top of that to make sure that our cup is totally smooth. And now we're ready to apply our decal and our vinyl striping. So for the decal, we're going to be using one that I created. It is available on my website if you'd like to use the same one. And we're gonna place our offset down first. I'm using this really pretty bright pink vinyl, and the decal says "You were born to shine," which I feel like goes really well with the little star sparkly theme that we have going on here. So I'm gonna place the pink vinyl down on the top portion of the cup, and then I'm gonna go through with the top layer, and I'm using this really pretty kind of like metallic turquoise vinyl. And I'm sorry guys, I have no idea where I got this. I will try to find it if I can, but I know that lots of places carry vinyl like this, so wherever you get your vinyl, like Tech Rock Craft or other places, you can find something similar if this is the same look you want to go for. So I took the little sparkle elements from the SVG and I placed those down first by hand, and now of course I'm going to cut my decal into sections and apply line by line so that I can make sure everything is lined up as perfectly as possible. And now with this pink offset, you can't really see it unless you're looking at the cup like really closely, but I wanted to include the offset just to give this teal vinyl a little bit of a nice pop off the cup, if that makes sense. Of course, you can use whatever vinyl colors you want. If you want your offset to be more prominent, just use a different color vinyl for your offset. So once I've got my decal placed, I'm going to move on to the striping for the middle, and we're going to use the same 2 colors of vinyl. So I'm going to put a thicker stripe of the pink down first, and I believe I cut this at 0.15 inches wide. So I'm going to put that on both the top and the bottom borders where our glitter color changes. And then I'm going to take a super thin stripe of the teal vinyl, and I think I cut that at 0.06 inches wide, and I'm going to lay that right over the top, right in the middle of that pink line. After I had all my vinyl placed, I sealed it all with a coat of the polyacrylic gloss liquid, and I let that dry for about 45 minutes, and I'm going to go in with a coat of epoxy to seal everything in. I'm using the Artist Cure epoxy from Flynn's Sister Supply Shop, and this coat is about 25 milliliters. Now I will need to do a final round of sanding and then another final coat for this cup to be completely done. But that is it for this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Here's what the final design looks like. I was really excited to use all 4 colors from the June Peachy palette on one tumbler, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked this design in the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Love you. Bye.